Hi everyone, happy Whine Wednesday. For those of you who have not joined us on Whine Wednesday before, it is when you join me for a glass of wine or to whine about your dog. So I hope everyone is having a great week, practicing your self-distancing and things like that. I do have Sophia with me today. She's kind of curled up here on my lap, but hi. Yeah. Hi. So yeah, I thought I'd hop on here. Typically what we do is we take something that we're getting a lot of questions on or that people have sent us questions on, and we talk about it during Whine Wednesday. So if you're watching this during the replay, give us a like or a comment, and we will be posting this to YouTube after the Facebook Live. So yeah, happy Whine Wednesday, everyone. And I hope, like I said, it's a great week and that things are going well with all of you. The thing we wanted to talk about this week is actually something I got quite a few questions on from clients. And I thought I really like when people are proactive about things and they don't wait until there's a major problem with their dog. So that always makes me super, super happy. So a question I received a lot this week was how to prevent separation anxiety now that we are, home more, practicing social distancing, working from home, all those kind of changes, and the normal schedule for a lot of people is very drastically different than it previously was. So I thought it was so amazing, the people who were kind of proactive and were asking me about that. I loved it. So cheers to those people, because it's always great to think about a problem before it's actually a problem, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited about the people who asked me questions about anxiety and preventing it. So typically for the average person, prior to the past couple of weeks, you probably worked full time, your dog spent, good portion of the day or evening, depending on your schedule, home alone. Then you had a schedule for feeding them, you had a schedule for walking them, you had a schedule for coming to training with us, things like that. So life was a little bit more structured. And now, of course, with more people working from home or not being able to work at all, you're kind of home with your dog, theoretically, all day long. You're going less places. Maybe you're going for walks around the neighborhood, but you're a little probably less active. You're not really going out shopping and different things like that. So let's talk about preventing separation anxiety, because I think that is so, so fabulous. So I think I just lost Sophia. I think one of the big things for people to think about is that we really want to be creating as much structure as we can during this time for our dogs. So structure can be a lot of different things. So it can be choosing to, continue to get up at a certain time each day, putting them in the kennel throughout the day, good structured walking, practicing, obedience at home, all that kind of really good stuff. Sophia's eating some food there. She's so loud. Oh my goodness. Sophia! So, what a dog. So it's kind of creating as much structure as you can to help keep your dog happy, healthy, and well balanced, okay? So some of the things I would suggest is if you do have a crate at home and your dog is kind of kennel trained, then I would suggest utilizing that in your day-to-day life. So it's not that you have to put them in the kennel for the exact amount of hours that you would have worked, but kind of just creating that structure. So for us with our dogs, we do this to, because even for us in our life right now, we're both home all the time, which isn't how things were. So Sophia, come here. So it isn't how things were for them before, and their schedules are kind of thrown off. So I like to still make sure that I am typically still up at 7 a.m., going about Sophia. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. So I like to still make sure I'm getting up at 7 a.m. I'm, walking the dogs at a particular time. I'm taking time to put them in their kennels throughout the day. Nice, good structured walking, and a lot of kind of, practicing obedience even just around the house. Sophia! I think she swallowed her food a little funny. Come here. Yeah, so just kind of creating that day-to-day structure so that they can be happy, healthy, well-balanced. This is really going to help you when you do go back to work, which we are all going to, kind of go back to our day-to-day lives. And we want to make sure that our dogs aren't stressed out and anxious and really, separation anxiety is such a horrible thing for a dog to go through. It is overwhelming for them. It can make them destructive. It's really, really unpleasant for everyone involved. So we want to make sure that we are preventing that, okay? So we want to be doing the best that we can, okay? So I would recommend utilizing the crate. Like I said, it doesn't have to be for 8 hours a day. Kind of getting up, going for that walk, putting them in there for a half hour, 20 minutes, something along those lines. Then taking them out, they're kind of having some practice time, they're relaxing, you're maybe working from your computer, I hear everyone's kind of doing a lot of house cleaning and organizing and chores. So maybe you're doing some things like that, and yeah, kind of create as much structure as possible. So crate training, amazing tool. I definitely recommend that. Nice, good structured walking. So that's when you have your dog in a proper heel beside you, okay? So not out kind of free for all, but nice, good structured walking. And then one of my other recommendations is to work on the place command. So the place command is about your dog being calm on command. So it is very much a mindset. To people who aren't familiar with the command, it really looks like the dog is just kind of laying in a bed. But the objective is that they have to be calm on command. So I would suggest practicing that throughout the day and, really, really making sure that you're creating as much structure as possible and having fun with them. I see Rain just wrote, and please stay home and wash your hands. That's true as well. So I know Rain knows I'm staying home. I'm not going anywhere. So we're in a full-blown lockdown here. I will pick up my pre-ordered groceries tomorrow, or, well, Jason will. But that's kind of the extent of us leaving the house. So let's talk about something like the place command. So to get started with that, you're not going to just expect that if you tell your dog to go to place, they're going to go, they're going to lay, they're going to stay. Instead, you want to start really small, introduce them to the idea of it, to the area that you want them to go to. Really kind of start small like that. So maybe it's a mat, a bed, anything along those lines. You'll kind of guide them there and teach them what the word means to go to that specific spot. And then depending on the age of your dog, you might want to work on, teaching them to sit on it, lay on it. Everyone, of course, who watches these videos is in different stages with their dogs and the training of their dogs. So that's okay. And kind of build up from it. Have nice small expectations and then build up on it. It really, really will help. The more guidance you can give them, the better it is. I had asked people yesterday to work on, some different things over the coming weeks with their dogs and to let me know. So some people have been working on some fabulous things, different tricks, overcoming bad behaviors, things like that. And all of that is really, really great for also helping to prevent things like separation anxiety. The more that you're doing to work their brain and to create structure, the more beneficial it is. Why we recommend the kennel is you're also creating that distance between you and them. Or the place command can be the same thing. So you're not having them kind of up on the furniture with you the whole time, up on top of you, following you to the kitchen, following you to the bathroom. Instead, there's some distance so that they'll be more comfortable when you go back to work, okay? Or regular life, school, any of those things. When regular life starts back up again, your dog will be more comfortable because they haven't become so dependent on you. So I hope that's kind of making sense for everyone. Like I said, I really loved the people who kind of were really proactive and sent me messages about this week, because it really is fabulous. And it is a big concern that your dog could, you know, end up with severe separation anxiety because of all the time you're spending with them. Sophia is distracting me here. She's wandering around, exploring. This is typically, this is my home office up here, so she's only allowed up here sometimes. So she always finds it really interesting when she's here, and it smells like the cat, and the cat doesn't normally hang out with her or the other dogs, so she's super excited. Can you hear her breathing? Because she's also super loud all the time. And then, walking, I know everyone's a little bit different with your comfort level right now with, you know, the state of emergency here in Nova Scotia. And I know we have people who watch us from, you know, all over the world and different provinces and stuff. So I know it's a little different depending on where you're at. But I do know basically we're being asked, you know, encouraged that we can still go out, but in our neighborhoods. So also if you're nervous or maybe your puppy isn't fully immunized, and I know that there are, you know, different restrictions on the vet offices and stuff right now, so maybe that's something you can't even get done. Do things around your yard, walking the perimeter of your property, up and down your driveway, things like that. You can practice that, you know, structured walking in that kind of controlled setting, which will be great for your dog. It's going to be easier to teach them, you know, to do a proper heel and so on because there's less distractions around. And it's something I really encourage. We do a lot of work just, hi Sophia, just out in our yard. Come on, good girl. Good girl. We do a lot of practicing just, you know, out in our yards, walking around, that kind of thing. And then, you know, if you're more comfortable, go to your neighbor, like around your neighborhood. I do know a lot of trails and stuff have been closed right now, so that's not necessarily a great place. But if you were keeping your distance, you could use something like the downtown area. So, you know, depending on where you live, downtown Sydney, downtown Glace Bay, and then they still might get to be around a little bit of traffic and different things like that. So there's a good comment here about the dog keeping them sane. That's really true, and it's one of the reasons we wanted to talk about the separation anxiety. Is the more worked up we are and stressed out we are, the more likely we are to kind of lean on our furry friends, right? So they give us comfort. I mean, look at this face. Come on, come on, look at her. Of course she gives me lots of comfort. So, but I can't let my emotions possibly damage the dogs by putting too much on them. So I totally agree. Like, are they keeping people sane right now? 100%. And the person who wrote that comment, I know, works in the health profession, so that's an even more stressful time for people in those fields right now. But yeah, we just want to make sure that we're still, you know, not leaning on them so much that we're doing anything that's overwhelming them. So yeah. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you're all enjoying a glass of wine on this Whine Wednesday. Don't forget, you can always message us or comment. We love hearing from you guys and connecting with you. And, you know, often a lot of those types of things help determine what we'll talk about the following week. So, and if you don't have a dog, just tell me about your favorite wine. I like wine as well, right? So tell me about that, or tell me about an adventure. But we are going to end today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free, please, to give us a like or a comment. It's a difficult thing being a business owner these days because, you know, everything's kind of about the coronavirus. So we do appreciate all of the amazing support. And we will be talking to you this week during our posts that we'll be giving some training tips and stuff on, and as well as next week's Whine Wednesday. Okay? So have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Can't get to it. Sophia's asleep on my lap.